Hello friends, acquaintances, and enemies of all ages, my name is Combat Bird, and for today's Year of Kirby video, we'll be taking a quick look at Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. Nightmare in Dreamland is actually just a remake of Kirby's Adventure, but given a complete update to graphics, audio, and even some gameplay aspects. The story is pretty much the same. Kirby needs to recollect the pieces of the Star Rod to restore the Fountain of Dreams, and in doing so, helping save all of Dreamland from the evil Nightmare. But you don't exactly play a Kirby game for the story, you play it for a gameplay-focused, cute adventure, and that's exactly what you get. The graphics of Nightmare in Dreamland are arguably the best take on Kirby thus far, and everything looks super crisp and colorful. They've also added some of the more modern Kirby standards here, such as hats for each copy ability. And I swear, the pixel art of this game is downright inspiring. Every single animation, every single frame, they're all so good looking. The sound has also been completely remade to fit the newer audio capabilities of the Game Boy Advance. With each sound effect sounding sharper than the last, and even some new stage remixes, the audio of the game is certainly up to par with the beautiful 2D graphics. Now gameplay-wise, you have a few new features and tweaks to the originals. First of all, you have an all-new multiplayer mode that allows up to 4 different players to all cooperatively play through the story. And on top of that, each player can have his or her own copy ability, meaning that they aren't stuck playing as Waddle Dee or King Dedede like in a couple of future games. All of the sub-games also have this multiplayer mechanic as an option. We have a couple of returning modes such as Samurai Kirby, a who can react faster styled game, but there are also some newcomers, like Kirby's Air Grind. Yes, it's very similar to Kirby's Air Ride. This game shows Kirby and his friends grinding on rails in a race to the finish. And then you have Bomb Rally, where players must play a game of hot potato and hit the bomb around until someone inevitably gets hit by it. Another pseudo-major addition to Nightmare in Dreamland is the Meta Nightmare mode, where once you've completed the game's extra mode, you can play through the entire game again as Meta Knight. With the only stipulation being that you cannot save your progress, and that you only have 3 hits on your life bar. Meta Knight has multiple new moves in his arsenal so that you don't feel like you're just playing through as Sword Kirby. He can also attack while flying pretty easily, so this makes flying through the game a piece of cake. So as I mentioned earlier, while we do have most of this new content, there are also some tweaks to existing gameplay. Most level designs stayed the same, with a couple of exceptions to help match the graphical update, but the enemies, more specifically the bosses, have a pretty significant change. Most of the bosses are larger, but also slower. They look amazing, but don't really put up much of a challenge. And in fact, that's the biggest change overall. Bosses being easier and a couple of enemy changes in certain areas make Nightmare in Dreamland a decent amount easier than Kirby's Adventure. This is fine for someone like me, but if you were hoping for an upgrade in difficulty with this remake, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. And that's honestly it for changes to the game. It may not seem like a lot, and really it isn't, but this would be an amazing starting point for anyone trying to get into the Kirby franchise, by letting you really see Kirby's roots, but with a lot more polish. But even as someone who has played not only this game numerous times, but the original Kirby's Adventure, the game still never felt boring. It's just as fun as I remember it being, and I would gladly replay it again in the future. Alright everyone, that is it for this week's Year of Kirby video. Sorry if it ended up being a little bit shorter than normal. Nightmare in Dreamland is a remake after all, but I felt that it was important enough for the Kirby series that I couldn't go without including it in the Year of Kirby. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.